In this video, I want to share 3 pieces of not so obvious emergency gear that we may not think to keep around, but could be very handy if the situation was bad enough and it applied. Although there's much more than 3, we'll start from here. Stick around. I would like to refer to this episode as a partnership with my audience because I'm going to cover 3 not so obvious pieces of emergency gear. But I would also like to hear from you. I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments because I think if we work together as a content creator and as an audience, we can put together a pretty awesome bug out bag. I don't even want this video to be long. We know about emergency situations. We know how quickly unexpected things can happen. And there's a lot of different situations we can find ourselves in. And it's really easy to not have what we need in that moment. Let's talk about our first piece of gear, which is totally inexpensive and you can find anywhere where they sell camping gear. And that is a disposable poncho. Ordered this one online, probably Amazon. This one's a Coleman poncho. I've got several of these. Now, I'm not talking about keeping a poncho in your pocket or in your back pocket. I'm talking about keeping one in the car, keeping one in your to-go bag. Maybe you keep a pack in your car, just keeping one nearby. How many times have you been in your car totally stranded because of heavy rains, but you couldn't wait any longer? So you had to get out of your car and run to where you had to go and you were drenched, soaking wet. Even if you had an umbrella, it still didn't protect you that much. Little something like this right here is light and easy to stuff away in a compartment in your car. You can pull this thing out, cover yourself from head to toe, get where you gotta go and throw this thing away. Granted, getting wet is not the biggest emergency we can face in this world, but there's times where it could subject us to greater threats. You know, maybe if the weather was extremely cold, depending upon the situation, or if you had to be wet for long periods of time, a poncho like this can really be a savior in situations like that because you can just throw this on. You still may get a little wet. Your feet might get wet, obviously, but this is not hard to keep with you and it will save you a whole lot of trouble. I mean, keep one for everybody in the family. The second very important piece of gear that I think is nice to have close by, whether it's in the car, whether it's in your to-go bag, whether it's anywhere nearby, is a tourniquet. Now, I haven't opened this one up because I don't really need to right now. I hope I don't have to, but a tourniquet. We think about first aid kits and we think about all of these things, but a tourniquet could be a lifesaver in a situation where someone got cut bad enough. I was actually watching a show a while back. It was a podcast and a Navy SEAL was being interviewed and he was being inquired upon with regards to his everyday carry items that he had with him. Now, he had a tourniquet on him. You know, these things are not the easiest thing to carry around. I don't know, you know, what size he was using. Something like this, I couldn't carry around with me. I'd have to just have it close by. I'd have to have it in a pack. But, you know, a tourniquet is one of those things we may not always think about. I don't call it necessarily an obvious emergency item, but it needs to be close by. I think a tourniquet is one of those things that we need to have around. Something like this could be used in a public setting. Something bad happens in public. Somebody near you gets injured really bad. You're able to come to their aid pretty quickly. Having something like this in the car, dealing with something with a car accident. I could just go on and on, but this could save a life. Another not so obvious piece of gear, a fire blanket. Having a fire blanket nearby. Putting one in the kitchen, maybe putting one in your car somewhere, just putting it somewhere where you can get to it. If you're going camping, definitely keep it in your pack. Keep one nearby because, you know, I've been seeing a lot of stuff as of late about fire blankets and their ability to put out kitchen fires very easily. And you just throw it over top of the fire and it gives you the instructions right here on what to do. Somebody catches on fire, you know, they're in a stop, drop, and roll scenario. A fire blanket, having something like this that you can get your hands on could definitely save a life, can save a house, can save a lot of things. Now, if you notice, I'm not on here selling brands. You can buy whatever fire blanket you want. You can pay a little bit for one or you can pay a lot, probably based on the size. I just bought one of the most inexpensive ones off of Amazon, probably going to collect 2 or 3 of these actually just to keep them in different places. This pack I bought actually came with 2. And I want to say they were about $8 a piece. I think I paid $6 or $7 for this tourniquet. These little Coleman ponchos are throwaway cheap. Short, sweet, to the point. These are my 3 not so obvious pieces of emergency gear. I say let's start a big thread in this video. What are some other pieces of gear that are not so obvious that you think would be great to have around? Thanks for watching. Take care.